All right, let's jump right in. We're talking about a deal today that is absolutely going to shake up Hollywood. I mean, think about it. A 100-year-old studio legend is joining forces with the king of streaming. And yeah, this is going to change what you watch and probably how you watch it forever.
Okay, let's kick things off with a number. A huge number. $82.7 billion. To put that in perspective, that's roughly 12.8 trillion yen. I mean, a number that big is almost hard to wrap your head around, right?
So, what in the world does that kind of cash get you in the entertainment business? Because, let's be real, a number like that, you're not just buying a fancy new office building or some extra servers. No, we are talking about buying a massive piece of cultural history itself.
So what does it buy? Well, how about Harry Potter, Batman, and Game of Thrones? We're talking about some of the most beloved, most iconic stories and characters on the entire planet. These are whole universes that have basically defined generations and just dominated pop culture for decades. So to really get how this all came together, we've got to look at the players involved.
Okay, so this whole deal brings together two absolute titans of the entertainment world. And on the surface, they might look like total opposites, two sides of the same Hollywood coin. But when they come together, man, it signals a huge shift for the entire industry.
So on one side, you've got Netflix, the modern streaming giant that just completely rewrote the rules for how we watch, well, everything. And then on the other side, you've got this century-old institution, Warner Bros., a true Hollywood legend founded way back in 1923. I mean, this is the studio behind some of the biggest blockbusters in movie history.
So what is Netflix really buying with all that money? It's not just a studio, it's a treasure chest, an absolutely massive world-class library of what they call intellectual property, or IP. And we're talking about everything from the magic of Harry Potter to the dark streets of Gotham with Batman, and even sitcoms that feel like they've been on forever, like Friends. This isn't just a back catalog, it's a vault filled with cultural touchstones.
Which brings us to the big question. Why? Why would these two giants team up? And why right now? Well, it's actually a pretty fascinating story. It's about two very different companies with two very different problems, finding one single gigantic solution. See, for Warner's parent company, Warner Bros. Discovery, things were getting pretty tight. After a big merger they did a while back, the company was left with a ton of debt. And at the same time, the old-school TV advertising market was starting to shrink. So yeah, they were in a really tough spot, and they knew they had to do something big.
And this is where it all clicks into place. This slide really breaks down the core logic of the whole deal. For Warner Bros. Discovery, selling off these huge assets is their way to get out from under that mountain of debt and get ready for the future. And for Netflix, man, it's the ultimate power-up. They don't just get to own that legendary IP library, they also get to seriously expand their own production muscle. And for Netflix, there's another massive incentive here. We're talking about projected cost savings. By combining everything, they expect to save somewhere between $2 and $3 billion. And that's just within the first 3 years. That kind of money can totally change the game for a company. And it's really important to remember, this isn't just happening in a bubble. This is part of a much, much bigger wave of change happening right now. You look around the world, and all the major media companies are consolidating, they're restructuring, just trying to survive and compete in this new streaming-first world.
But, a deal this huge can't just happen with a handshake and a press release. No way. It has to get approved by the global gatekeepers. We're talking regulators all over the world who are watching this very, very closely to see how this new behemoth is going to change the market. The whole approval process really comes down to something called antitrust law. In Japan, for example, it's known as the dokenhole. But whatever you call it, the goal is always the same: to protect you, the consumer. These laws are put in place to make sure there's fair competition and to stop any one company from getting so powerful that it can just set whatever prices it wants and limit your choices. So this merger literally has to run a global gauntlet. It's got to be reviewed by the Department of Justice, or the FTC over in the United States, the European Commission in the EU, and the Fair Trade Commission in Japan. And that's just for starters. And even after all of that, it still needs the final green light from Warner Bros. Discovery's own shareholders. So this whole complicated, multi-layered approval process, that's exactly why, even though the deal was announced back in late 2025, it's expected to take a full 12 to 18 months to actually get done. Right now, they're aiming to have everything finalized by the third quarter of 2026. Okay, so this is the part that really matters, right?
After all the boardroom meetings, all the lawyers, all the regulatory filings are done, how does all this corporate strategy stuff actually affect what you get to watch and how much you have to pay for it?
Well, the streaming world is already in the middle of a massive shakeup. I am sure you've noticed. Subscription prices are being reevaluated, those ad-supported plans are popping up everywhere, and the fight for popular exclusive content is more intense than ever. This merger is basically going to pour gasoline on that fire. It'll likely speed up all those trends and probably increase the focus on creating those regional hits, like K-dramas and anime, that have proven they can be huge all over the world.
So, the next time you're binging a new show or you see your subscription fee change or maybe you notice a few more ads than before, now you'll know why. You'll understand the massive economic forces that are making all this happen. This whole merger is a powerful reminder that the entertainment we love is a giant, constantly changing global business. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As these media giants get even bigger, what's going to be left for you to watch on your screen next year?